I feel like with the YouTube stuff and what I went through, it really taught me to how to, like you said, speak in front of a camera and act.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I really know how to articulate emotions and stuff with people.
Okay.
And I do such a great job at it.
Yeah. Are we ever gonna see you in front of the camera?
I don't think so. No.
No. You never. No auditioning. Never. Not gonna start your.
I made an OnlyFans, but that's about it.
Oh man. What up, everybody? It's Mic'd Up with Michelangelo, and I'm here with Blake Linder.
What's going on, my boy? Good to see you.
So, we're gonna go right into it.
Let's do it.
YouTube sneaker star.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most talented director I know. I know you did my one-time video, and then your father is Dr. Stuart Linder, who's
renowned plastic surgeon.
Renowned plastic surgeon. One of the most, I want to say, famous. I mean, he's the tit guy.
That's the man.
That's the man. I mean, if you listen, ladies, if you need it, the Linders got you. That's how you get Linderized. Get Linderized. Beyond that, I've known you since you were like what, 13?
12 or 13,
13 years old. You're super honest guy. You're super amazing. You're just as genuine as they come.
Thank you. Yeah.
Depending on, especially with your background and everything, and you're just like as humble as they come, and you're extremely talented. Unbelievably talented, and you're just a phenomenal dude. So
thank you.
Glad to be able to have you and call you as
I'm
a
hyped
friend.
to do this.
So let's go into it. So
yeah.
Real quick, YouTube.
Yeah.
You technically, I'm not even gonna say, I want to go right to it. You pioneered the sneaker tubing.
Yeah.
There's you and a couple other guys. I want to say maybe one or two other guys, right?
Older.
Yeah. But they were older than you. You were the youngest.
Twice my age.
Yeah.
More than twice
right.
my
We
age.
talked that they were twice your age. Yeah. More than twice your age.
Yeah.
Pioneer, but you were pioneer. I remember when I owned my first, I was invested in that first store, 2020, I remember. And you came in there, and my partner at the time was like, oh, this kid Blake comes in all the time. And then we talked about separately with Lace 'em Up. That's how we originally connected. So what actually made you sit there and go, you know what, I'm just going to grab a camera and start talking about sneakers?
Yeah. So growing up in LA, I was a Laker fan originally. I'm a Clipper fan now.
Okay.
After the passing of Kobe, I kind of transitioned over to the Clippers. But just growing up in Hollywood, LA, being around such an amazing culture of fashion, streetwear, seeing all these players at the games who weren't playing in all this attire and streetwear, kind of just hooked me on the sneakers and shoes. My dad, who was younger at the time, was always into shoes as well. Ever since growing up, he had the J's, the Jordan 1s from '85 and all that stuff. So we were both kind of always into shoes. So I'm Jewish. It was one Hanukkah one year, and I asked for a camera, it was like a little Canon, with the flip on the top. You hold it, you vlog it.
The typical vlog camera. Yeah. I think that's
that every white girl in LA has.
The one that vlogging was really, really getting known. So so you asked for a vlogging camera, and you
asked for a vlogging camera. There's this new store that opened up. Maybe I was just lately introduced, but it was Flight Club on Fairfax.
Okay, yeah.
And I went there with my dad.
The Flight Club. So when I was your age at the time,
was it around?
What was it around?
I don't know. I went there when I was 13.
Yeah. So
Kid in a candy
when
store.
I was 13, Flight Club was that's what really made me want to launch Equivalence and make Equivalence the brand it is, because Flight Club when I was 13 was that sneaker store. You know what I'm saying? That it was that sneaker store. It was every rapper talked about it. Every rich kid and everybody that had money was shopping there. And that was the only place that had every shoe known to mankind. And it was it didn't matter if you bought a sticker, you just wanted a Flight Club receipt or say you shopped at Flight Club. So when I was 13, that was like shopping at Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was a staple. Oh yeah, well, where'd you get those? I got them at Flight Club.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute, because at first it was only in Flight Club. It was only in Flight Club New York, and then they brought LA over here.
And so at the time I was 13 years old, before the YouTube happened. My dad and I, we'd start shopping there and buying duplicates of the same pair. Dope. And there was this one time where I think each had 15 pairs. Okay. This kind of crazy collection, 2 pairs of Chicago's, 2 pairs of these Kobe's. And that's not what started the YouTube. What actually started the YouTube was I was going to St. Bart's on this family trip, and I brought my vlog camera. And we didn't do anything really crazy. I just went jet skiing, all this random stuff. And I just told myself I was going to commit to filming this whole specific trip every day, day by day. edited at night, and posted that day. I think my
So you're doing same day filming, same night editing.
And I was like 14 years old.
And next day posting.
Yeah, on a trip.
14 years old.
And this was like
there's a lot worse things you could do.
Like my parents were going to bed early. They're like, relax, get up the next morning, enjoy your trip.
Okay.
And I was just grinding out on iMovie. You know what iMovie is?
Yeah.
That's like the most basic beginner like editing software.
Final Cut's basic version.
And I think I had like 5,500 followers before the trip from just posting
on
like
Instagram or YouTube?
On YouTube.
Okay.
And I was originally the teenage sneakerhead. I wasn't even B Sneak, by the way.
Okay.
I was looking at it yesterday. It was teenage sneakerhead. That was my handle.
Called the teenage sneakerhead.
Yeah, and I would take like photos and stuff on my Instagram. But I vlogged every one of these days on these trips, on this one trip, and I left the trip with 90,000 subscribers. My account blew up over time, over that like week and a half.
That's crazy.
It was the craziest thing.
How many videos? So how many videos did you put up?
It was like 8 from the trip.
8 videos.
8 videos
every single day. 8
and they
days
each averaged like 50, 40K.
Dang,
it's crazy.
Views.
And then I got an email from YouTube one day saying, "Hey, we'd like to introduce you to AdSense. Like, please contact this person and speak." And I wasn't 18 at the time, so my mom started to get involved.
Yeah.
That's where she became the momager.
Yeah.
And she would start to look over everything
before I got involved.
Before Michelangelo
came in. Yeah.
Before I got Michelangelized.
Yeah, you got the momager. So okay, so then she got involved and all that.
And then
stuff.
that's what happened. I started getting these checks slowly and slowly. I got introduced to people like Kais, Tony D. Wild, John Carlo. John Carlo was starting off too at the time, Blazendary.
Right.
And then my videos, I kind of figured out how to get them tagged on the side of these other already influential, older 30-year-old people doing the same type of content.
Okay.
And people found my stuff. I had a nice editing style and technique because I've always had a creative eye for film stuff. I don't know where it came from. My dad's good with the sculpting of the tissue and the flesh. I'm good with the keyboard.
Hey, like an artist is an artist, whether you're sculpting
visually or cosmetically.
An artist is an artist, or if you're painting, you're making music and art. Creating makes you an art, no matter what you're creating.
And so slowly over time, I had like 250,000 followers. I was getting like $3,000 a month from YouTube.
Nice.
And what did I do with that money?
How old were you at that time?
14 and 15, maybe like 15. I would just blow it all on shoes.
Yeah.
And then I started to realize I can make videos about buying these shoes and clothes.
Okay.
Stack up the collection, make more money.
Yeah.
And by the time I was like 18 years old, I think I had a 400, 500 pair collection.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, your entire...
Like 4 walls in my parents' basement.
Yeah.
Like 3 Red Octobers, 3
Plats. The
Plats.
basement looked like my collection or my stockroom at Equivalence. Which
all organized, pristine. Yeah. And I've always had a thing for sneakers, but as a lot of people recently, it's kind of died down a little bit.
Sneaker tubing. So I noticed even your peers from back in that time aren't really like, there's no more of a sneaker tubing thing. Now they're just like YouTubing.
Yeah.
They're not like, like primarily focused on sneaker tubing. It kind of died down.
And a lot of people pushed me to try to convert my account into like lifestyle.
I know we talked about it. I talked about lifestyle with you, but I've
done it. I've tried. I put high school videos and just daily vlogs, and it's just my audience was the sneaker culture.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to transition a whole group of people like that.
And you don't want to get stuck in that niche with the fact of matter that, your end goal is to be one of the biggest directors.
Love filming and directing and producing. Yeah, that's what I went to school for. I'm finishing up Dodge College. It's in Orange County. And I would just hate to give that all up to try to push the YouTube. I love the YouTube. I had a great time on it, 6-7 years. I made tons of connections, tons of money.
Yeah. So before I even go to the next question, I want to see if you can, because you had like dropped a hint of knowledge in there because everybody loves YouTube, and right now everybody's like, I want to be a YouTube star. Still, I think so.
You do.
Nah, yeah, right. No, so I honestly do love the platform that social media and YouTube has created, because I grew up in entertainment as an actor, and before like this internet boom, there was no like, let me grab a camera and grab my boys and create my own TV show and then move. Like there was no like other way around in the industry. It was audition, acting class, audition, get picked. Now you can like basically control your own fate when it comes to entertainment. But you had said that you figured out how to get your videos tagged with these other YouTubers. Now, what did you figure out? Are you okay with letting people know?
Yeah, it's just it's just following the trend. It's following the major big companies are doing. There's actually this one time where I kind of too specifically followed one company, and they actually came after me.
Yeah,
I've always been doing the sneaker shopping videos. I've done it with my dad and different celebrities. I've had famous decks, Offset, like a few to name, Prince Fred.
Yeah, we remember Prince Fred's video.
Yeah. And there's just this one company that felt a little targeted because I started racking up the same amount of views that they were averaging, and their video budgets were probably 6 figures.
Oh, yeah.
And I was giving the celebrity maybe like 10 to 20,000, while they were giving the celebrity like 6 figures to go shopping with them. My videos were picking up on the side of theirs. So I was actually targeted, and their lawyers were like, yo, you got to chill, or we're going to like shut your down.
They're going to come after you. I remember they were trying to hit us with a cease and desist.
They were very professional videos.
I was very I
had my buddies filming the videos, like 14, 15-year-old kids shooting the videos, and they looked as good as theirs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's when I really understood that your end goal was to be a director, because
how cinematic and professional the whole thing was.
How tedious you were to filming and making everything like such a high quality, even though it's just for YouTube. You're like, I don't care. Like, I want this to look like a movie.
Yeah.
So.
Especially with all the B-roll and the cinematic
things. The B-rolls were always the best. I think that's what your fans love the most. So let's move on to, you were making like about, I want to say like $3,000 a month off of YouTube alone at like 14 years old before it grew. And then of course that grew with it. We're not going to speak numbers, but everybody knows your dad and everybody knows your connection. Can you honestly give us an understanding of how much of an involvement your dad actually had financially with your YouTube career?
Yeah. So it's funny. It's actually till I was like 16. I would say he supported me with the sneakers till I was like 16.
Yeah.
And then one day he had went to the Wells account. We had a joint account because I was like 15, 16 at the time. He's like, how much did you make last month? And he's like, I'm not buying you shoes no more.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, that's motivation. I was like, damn, but that's motivation.
Now I gotta buy my own shoes.
Yeah, I was like, now I gotta buy my own shoes. Yeah. But the coolest part was that, and you know this, we even did one at your store. He said that he would buy shoes for himself, like in support of my channel and my videos, which is great because I could buy shoes with him. We could blow a bag together.
Oh yeah, no,
and I think there's probably
a sneakerhead.
Yeah,
we know that.
There's probably like 20 videos on my channel with me and him both going shopping together. Yeah, I'm lucky though. I'm blessed. They'll always support me. Both my mom and dad, they'll always support me.
Moving past, or actually let's drop back in real quick before I leave. The beef that you had.
With who?
I don't want to say names, but so you had.
There was multiple.
There was multiples. So, but they were really unjust.
I got picked on.
Picked on. You were bullied.
And I was never a controversial kid. I finally put on weight. I used to be like 80 pounds. Like,
right.
I was never trying to pick no fight.
You were picked on by these guys. These guys were twice your age. Doing the same exact thing you were doing. And, you know, of course, they always attacked you. They literally told you, hey, you know, the only reason why you're even competing with me is because you have daddy's money and you have this and you have that and this. And these guys are like twice your age. And they're just attacking you and targeting you.
It always added fuel to the fire for that desire and burn in my chest of just wanting that 1 million subscriber mark, which I never hit, but I got damn close.
You're close.
I hit 880.
Yeah.
But like 1 million wasn't ever the goal. It was just to have a good fan base that I could make happy and have supporters that really cared about my journey and who I was as a person.
Right.
Speaking of crazy story, a goal of mine was to always like have an impact on people, whether young or older. And there was actually this one time I went on Instagram Live and there was this kid in the hospital. He was on his hospital bed and I couldn't really tell, but I could tell he was bald and he was laying there and he like wasn't speaking. But he had randomly joined my live. I tapped on a random person, he joined. Long story short, I had a parent reach out to me through DM, and the parent basically said, our son is dealing with a very rare spinal cancer. He's not gonna make it, but his dream is to meet you. He's never met you before.
Man.
And so I hit him up, I hit the dad up, and I ended up flying out to Indiana like that week with my girlfriend and my mom. And I surprised this kid with like $5,000 worth of shoes and all this awesome stuff. Nice. And I made his world. He ended up beating the cancer.
Oh.
Yeah, he beat the cancer. And now he's like, I still keep in touch with him. He's like way older now. He was 10 at the time. He's like 16 now.
Oh, he's still around beating cancer? That's
I'm
awesome.
just happy that I was able to like, my channel was able to be like a source for him to push through hard times.
Right. And
because I'm nobody. I was just doing
just
YouTube videos, but the stuff that I did really motivated the kid.
And touching on that subject, like how does that how did that like reflect onto you to understand that like just YouTube alone has, because before, of course, again, like I said earlier, before, like celebrities were movie stars, singers, songwriters, people on television. How was it reflect on you that you're just making these videos on the internet?
It was a weird feeling,
and
dude.
like people are asking for pictures, begging
Autograph.
to meet you, autographs.
It was
like,
weird. It all came really, really fast. I mean, I hope I'm successful one day, and I'm like a famous director, and like I get the praise that I deserve from films that I make. But being a young kid, it was weird, dude.
It was weird.
Having these like older guys coming up to me asking for like photos and stuff.
Yeah. Let me ask you now.
It was a weird feeling, but I appreciated it.
But now that you're transitioning over to the other side of the spectrum when it comes to entertainment,
what, from actor to director?
Like you're going from like YouTube and internet famous to you're trying to be a director, and you would love to be a famous director, correctly? Yeah. So that wouldn't be, it's not internet famous. You know, this is a famous director. How does that correspond as far in your mind as far as fame goes? Do you think this notoriety of fame as a YouTube star is the same notoriety of fame as a famous director?
No, it's totally different.
And what makes you say that?
Because I want to be a storyteller.
Okay.
It's like my dad's told me, like my dad's very successful, as you know. He went to school for 18 years. Yeah. And you really, with his profession and all the stress that he
put in the work,
overgoes like on a day-to-day basis, like from people that aren't happy with his work and stuff and yada yada, like you really just have to do it because of your passion and what you want to do. So me being a film director, I don't hope to do it to become like famous and like all that stuff, but I just want to make really, really cool stories and films that people will enjoy. You know what I mean? I feel like when I was younger, I kind of appreciated all the fame and the photos a little bit more.
Are you more so saying like, I mean, when it comes to entertainment world, in the internet world, it's all about how many people see your stuff. And if you're in like this artist creativity, it's kind of like you're doing this for a passion and you just become famous. Yeah, you just you have to have that unique style, which I feel like I have with my documentaries. Definitely, I mean, all your documentaries, I think they're all on your website now too. So if you guys want to check them out, you can
Linder Productions.
LinderProductions.com. You can check them all out there. So let's move past that. We're past the YouTube phase.
Are we gonna get spicy now?
I'm gonna get spicy. Moving past that though, let's go over transitioning and getting into college. Yeah. And
it was stressful, man.
Work, because I mean, I still deal with you till today. I still manage you. I still deal with you. So yeah, it is stressful. No, but work, school, family, girlfriend, maybe, I don't know. Balance.
Oh, you know.
So work, school, girlfriend, and balance. Because we know you pause. I mean, me and your mom and your dad, we had to talk about it. YouTube was, as soon as you got into Dodge School, it was a wrap. Yeah. You're done. You're done until school's over with. Yeah. And you sprinkled a couple things here and there, and then you're just like, I just can't.
And they pulled numbers.
They pulled numbers at all numbers, but Mama Linder does not want you getting distracted. Yeah. I mean, you're so close. Is it 4 years now? Yeah. 4 years. So
can't believe
what are some of the things that you've actually done and honed in some skills that to say 16-year-old Blake Linder that would argue with me when I was telling him things that he knows now. And I've always told you you're like a little brother to me. I've always given you advice from day one to day end, right? And so what are some things that you've actually focused and honed in that's helped you guide yourself through college and that whole entire transition of like into like this real life professionalism where you're juggling like 16 schedules at once and still have to make a midterm? Yeah.
I'm a producing major at college. Okay. So I've learned all about budgeting and whatnot. Okay. So I'll be able to direct and produce coming out. I didn't go in as directing because I already knew how to direct. Okay. 60, 70K a year for college. I wanted to learn something new. Okay. So directing to the side from YouTube. I directed tons of stuff before. I learned all about producing, budgeting, movie magic, all that stuff through school. I've done 2 internships throughout college. Okay. One thing that I've learned is that I specifically have my own standard, but if you're working for somebody and there's a certain budget, even if I want it to be above and beyond, which all my work has been, like for every internship, it's not always possible because it's not the smartest investment to put your own money into something.
On your end, not
on my end, yeah. Okay. So I've learned a big lesson from that, to not be taken advantage of.
Okay.
A lot of these companies are very manipulative
Right.
to younger people, especially under internships. So it's very unfair.
And then we talked before, like I've always, one big thing that I've always been emphasized with you, which I think you started to understand as you got older, is that though, I mean, like I said, you're a genuine guy and you're super awesome and people love you, you're dope to work with, but sometimes people have their own agenda with somebody of your father's statue, to where they're like, okay, well, if I bring Blake in, then I'm bringing Dr. Stuart Linder in too. And like, so you also, I mean, you understand you have to
be careful.
You have to learn about that also, right? Like,
which I have at a very young age. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So that's not bad then. So what's your directing now and producing? What is your most sought after genre that you're going to go after?
Horror.
Horror?
Yeah. Jason Blum of Blumhouse. I want to intern there soon.
Jason Blum at Blumhouse?
Yeah.
Really?
They have an opening
you're
next
going to
year.
apply?
I'm going to apply. We'll see.
Yeah.
I need another horror film under my belt though, low-key. I also love documentaries though. Documentaries are just so organic and natural to shoot.
Yeah.
I love meeting the person from the beginning and just seeing them inside and out throughout the whole project. Like my buddy Ricky, I did the House Soul one on.
Yeah.
I just got to know the dude so well. I feel like I'm family with him now after spending 2 weeks in a row with him.
Yeah.
So it's just like that experience throughout storytelling is so special to me, because I'll remember that for a long time. And looking at the end product, I feel like a lot of people get that same feeling watching the final product.
Yeah. Telling that story. I love documentaries too. When I first started working with Jojo Ryder, that was one of the things that we produced the most, was documentaries.
And all the networks.
He produces,
or not the networks, the streamers. They all eat it up now.
Yeah, the streamers eat it up. The networks, I mean, those technically are considered big networks now. But they eat it up. But like you said, it creates a connection with
the audience and
an audience that it cannot be created any other way.
Yeah.
Okay, so now going off of the fact that you want to take another internship coming out of college, let me ask you, because I know everybody out here thinks it like this. I thought about this when I was like 10 years old, 13 years old. I said the same thing. I said, oh, you know what? If I had a rich daddy or a rich mommy, like, I'm not going to work. Like, why would I work for somebody else? I'll just start from ground zero. Luckily,
start your own thing.
Right, start your own thing. Luckily for me, I was able to start my own thing even without it. But for you, what is the defining factor? Because even like you're so successful in YouTube and your other ventures where you actually have your own money that you fund your own projects with. You do not pull from your father. What makes you sit there and go, I'm going to intern for another person or work for another company, as opposed to just launching your own from the start?
So I did actually launch my own, but the only reason why I have Linder Productions, my plan is to be able to knock out stuff on my free time that I have, which is weekends, breaks, summers, whatever.
Yeah.
But the reason why I want to do an internship so bad is because I just love horror so much.
Okay.
And specifically horror, it's so low budget. Coming into this industry as a new director and trying to grasp or tackle like a huge multi-million-dollar film, like $100 million budget film, and it flops, your career is done. You're burnt. You're clipped.
And without
you're
any
toast.
experience too.
You're toast. But I feel like my chances, if I can prove myself through years of an internship, I might be given that opportunity to direct a $2, $3, $4, $5 million horror film.
Okay.
Which is going to break even, because they all break even. A lot of them break even.
So you much rather work under somebody else, learn his experience.
That's what I feel like right now. I'm not out of school yet. I haven't surfaced Indeed and all these websites and really dug deep and like looked for positions.
Yeah.
But right now, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
And you don't think, like, nowhere in your mind goes, I'm gonna write a script, or I'm gonna go find a script and just find out how to get my own $1 million or raise money and produce my own film. Like,
well, I see a lot of these films now. Did you hear about Winnie the Pooh, the Halloween?
Yeah.
That was $100,000 film.
Yep, it was raised. So they raised it. Like, I mean, well, shout out one of my good friends, Batch, Andrew. So I remember we talked about it. He does all his own when it comes to filmmaking and the movies. I mean, he gets booked all the time in movies, but a lot of his own movies, I mean, he takes a check don't quote me entirely, but I know he has his own production. He takes his own money, he takes his checks, he goes, buys his own camera equipment, buys his own lenses, buys everything, like just how you do. And then he goes and he gets his crew, he gets his staff, and he produces. That's one thing, he's such a hustler. He produces all his own films. Mm-hmm. And then he shops them around in the short films, and then he makes them big. And he's such a hard worker. That's why he is the way he is. But yeah. So there, like you said, Winnie the Pooh, that scary one was only 100K, and then they got it approved and all the other stuff, and they might raise more money for marketing. So what makes you not say, you know what? I mean, I'm just gonna, sell my car, be carless for 6 months and film my own movie.
Yeah. So there was actually this film I was trying to do. It was gonna be a half an hour long. It's called Parental.
Okay.
I told you about it.
Yes.
With you know who.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to film it this summer, and this not A-list actor, but actor.
Well-known actor. I would say.
Yeah.
We'll say.
He got on the wrong footing recently.
Solidified actor, because he's not known now, but he's known forever.
We had actually planned to have the film budgeted at $500,000, so 50K ish, and I was gonna put up half, and then he had found somebody that was gonna match it.
Okay.
So we were gonna have like 55K.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you found a little bit of raise.
Yeah, and the script was done, and we were waiting till school, and I guess it's good that it happened now rather than after we shot it. But the guy just got off on the wrong footing recently, and he's just been going through some stuff.
Okay.
So we have to curve now, and I co-wrote that with his buddy.
So now he
I can't use that.
Half the script.
Yeah, and.
So start from ground zero with your people, and and with your own script, or buy a script right out,
But $100,000 doesn't seem that far reachable.
No, doesn't.
Because you find people. I'm not saying connected, but I know a lot of people. I know somebody that would put 5,000 and another 10, and then you're already at 80K. You have 10,
so 10K is really, really.
To get
close.
some money out of this dude.
I don't know. Let me see if I got. For you, man.
You'll give me your company.
I'll give you a little bit piece. But no, you're not wrong though. So I know I see a lot of these YouTube stars do it too, and a lot of like friends of mine done it. But I mean, 100K isn't reachable when you have 10 people with 10K. Yeah. 10,000 is even like more reachable than 100,000. So if you have 10 people with $10,000, I mean.
And the Winnie the Pooh movie made $5 million.
$5 million
on Amazon, yeah.
They launched it on Amazon
and Hulu or something. I'm trying to find where to watch it. That's why.
Okay, yeah, I don't know.
They were probably much older.
Oh yeah,
they weren't film students.
No. Well, I mean, at one point in time, they probably were.
But when they shot it recently, no, they weren't.
No.
So what's stopping me?
Is there any real actors inside that movie?
I haven't watched it. No.
We'll see.
They didn't have you in it, so.
Getting into a higher level of directing. High level of producing, and like putting music videos together, short films, documentaries. How often do you envision a project in your mind, see it, put it together? How often does it actually come out the way you envision it? Yeah. Especially even as a student, because I mean, you probably envision it with a whole different budget.
Yeah, so I've learned through independence and through film school, like pre-production is important.
Yeah.
But you can only do so much.
Right.
And there's always going to be different things and different aspects while you're shooting. Like I did this music video for Designer.
Yeah.
And I ended up finding out that there was no electricity in the middle of the desert. So we had like these power generators.
Did you find that out when you got there? You didn't think about it?
No, we knew before. Yeah. But it was so, it was just the land and stuff. It was so choppy and gravelly and these huge rocks that we weren't able to do like more than 2 lights, and we had like 8 lights. So like that happened. It was pitch dark. But it ended up turning into one of the coolest shots I've ever done, because I had a red light and a blue light.
Okay.
If you remember, it made like that circle in the sky.
Yeah, it kind of gives it almost like a sunset vibe too.
Yeah, but there was like this huge shape on the ground, and we only had a red light and a blue light. And if I had used all these other lights, like it would have
removed the shape.
Yeah, it would have ruined the shot, this awesome shot that I put on my reel.
Okay.
So yeah, a lot of the times I get the shot that I want, the outcome, but I feel like that's with filmmaking, and especially documentaries. Like it's okay to kind of
pivot.
If you need to,
yeah, pivot and figure it out. Yeah, which is always a must, especially when you're.
As long as you know what you're doing and you got audio, and the
Audio
lighting
is
is not
important.
overexposed, you can make it work.
Yeah.
You can add it, chop it, cut it up, transitions,
Right.
add some music.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm sure doing all
With yours though, I just went blindfolded.
Really?
No.
Came out great.
No.
No. And then I'm sure years of doing YouTube with just one camera.
It's helped me.
It helps.
Sure,
It helps you figure it out, of course.
Definitely.
I mean, like you said, I
just
think
being familiar with the camera and just shooting anything nowadays.
Yeah, I think
It
so.
helps.
I think, and you can tell me if you agree, I think when it comes to creating in general, even at any level, the first thing you have to do is to just actually start.
Yeah.
Right? Like you just have to do it and then figure it out, make it work.
That's the thing though. In my film school, there's a
Yeah.
lot of film kids, right?
Okay.
And like they don't all have websites, and they don't like, some of them don't even have their own films.
Right.
And that's a problem. Like I talked to my parents about it, and I'm very lucky. My parents push me. They're always
Yeah.
at my butt. They always want me like in motion doing something.
Yeah.
But like I'm friends with these film kids, and like they have never done a film in their life.
Yeah.
And they're coming out of film school after spending a quarter on either loans or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they're gonna do. They have no
They're gonna
experience.
Try to
They've
figure
never
it out.
They've
They're
never
gonna
touched the camera.
Well, you know what? So that comes with you being like, one, luckily having like some good guidance, but understanding the new generation and the internet. Like you took your experience. You had experience before you went to film school.
Yeah.
You went to YouTube. You attacked it, and then you realized, okay, well, I can create my own experience, so that way I graduate with experience.
Yeah.
The traditional route.
I mean, I'm taking 5 classes, and I got free time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like these kids got free time.
Yeah.
Instead of going out and drinking at the Chapman bar every Tuesday and Thursday. Like.
Yeah, it's kind of like, well, you know, the traditional schooling that they try to teach, which made me, I mean, after I stopped playing basketball, I was like, I'm just not going to finish school. Was, you know, you go to school, you finish, graduate, then you go get experience. Spend all that money, get hired for a job.
But nowadays it can't be like
nowadays,
that. Everybody's cutthroat.
Right, everybody's cutthroat, and nowadays
you get left in the dust.
Yeah, and you can pick up a camera and get your experience by yourself. Like you can create.
These kids are lazy.
Your own doors. Everybody's different. I'm sure there's another kid in school also that's doing just as much work as you are. Trust me.
There are.
Yeah. So there's.
But a lot of my buddies aren't.
Yeah. It gets frustrating. I've had that issue too.
I'm down to have them hop on mine, but I'm just like, y'all aren't going to be execs or producers.
Yeah, I mean,
we
y'all
going to be the PAs.
Yeah, we had a couple of them on my set, and there was just a level of professionalism.
What, the one time?
Yeah, on the one-time set, we had a lot of them on set.
Cool.
Half of them were cool. You know, they're all great guys. It's just half of them were very professional. Half of them weren't professional, and that comes from experience, though. That has nothing to do with the person. Just experience, just understanding. You know, even when you're there with like your buddy or somebody that's like your little brother. Yeah. You know, you have to still be professional. You can't sit there and.
That's why I've always been told to try to never deal friends with business.
Yeah, they do say that, but I would say they say that because it's easier to avoid than it is to weed out the pots. If you understand what I'm saying, you don't know. So,
no, I don't.
so
idea what
you don't. So it's when the saying comes to like don't do business with friends, that's an easier thing to avoid because like you have to think about it. Like if you have 10 friends, you'll only be able to do business with like 1 or 2. So by telling you don't do business, you're removing 80% entirely of like bad luck. Unless you get lucky, you go with 20% in the front end. So that's why that saying comes to where because it outweighs, the number outweighs its positive. So the negative outweighs its positive. So if you follow that rule, you avoid going through all 8 friends before you finally meet the 2 friends that you can do business with automatically. And then then you meet new friends. And then the people you do business with, you become best friends with, right? Anyways. So technically you're always in business with friends. It's vice versa. I always say, me personally, like, you know, Jacob's one of my best friends and he's my business partner equivalent. He's like my little brother. You're like a little brother to me. We do business. Like, you know, tomorrow, my little brother, Jesse, T. Usher, like we do business. So it really just depends on the people and the situation and how you tackle it. And everything, I think the best thing you can always do is always have honesty. And if honesty is on both sides of the spectrum, transparency, honesty, and respect, no matter what, then you should be fine, you know? But yes, that saying is more like a safety net to like, you know what, just don't do business with friends. Just avoid them all entirely. And you won't find yourself with a bad one.
Yeah.
You know, because the bads will outweigh the good sometimes in that scenario, just because, you know, you guys have a different mindset.
Yeah.
So have you ever actually felt a pressure, and are you starting to feel pressure? And do you think you will ever feel a pressure of living in your father's shadow, or like the legacy that he's left on his own, or just the fact that you took a whole entire different route than he did? Do you think that pressure was completely lifted from you? Like, how attached?
I definitely feel the pressure.
You definitely feel pressure?
Definitely feel the pressure. Just because both of my parents have given me so much.
Right.
My dad, he's went to school for so long.
Mm-hmm.
I only have to go to school for 4 years.
Yeah.
I was going to do graduate school, but I'm just, right now, I'm ready to get out of school.
Yeah.
So
take a break for now.
I feel like that's the least they deserve.
Yeah.
And it's not me being successful, me being rich,
Yeah.
but them knowing, because they truly know in their heart when I put my all,
Yeah.
but me putting my all.
Okay.
Even if I don't become that huge horror director one day,
Yeah.
at least them knowing that I tried A, B, and C and did all of this and made all these independents, and yeah, they all flopped, but I still tried.
Yeah.
And like,
oh, they won't flop. We're not gonna. We'll speak positively.
Just,
all right, you're gonna
just
make
giving
all
it my
these. They're gonna
all,
be
yeah.
successful, but just giving it your all, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But so then, but you do feel the pressure of being.
Yeah, and it's
Stuart
also
Linder's
because
son.
I made money when I was such a younger age,
Yeah.
and I want to continue living that lifestyle.
Yeah. Now you.
I want to have the nice stuff. I'm somebody like that. We're both people like that, where we
Yeah.
want to have the nice things. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want that stuff, you have to grind.
Yeah, gotta
Yeah.
grind for a minute. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, everybody and anybody knows.
I
who
wouldn't
he
be where
is.
I'm at though without pressure. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And pressure makes diamonds.
Yeah.
That's how you do that. Answer me this: in YouTube, you were in front of the camera, and directing and producing. Now you're going to be behind the camera. What made you say, "Yeah, I want to be behind the camera"? I mean, you're a good-looking guy, 6'4", got this beard,
Gassing me up.
Yeah, you're a good-looking guy. You have this swag. You have your vocal range. You know how to present. You know how to speak in front of a camera. You're very conscious of your actions. What made you go, I want to be behind the camera and not?
It's all about directing the actors.
Really?
Yeah.
So you want to help them present?
I feel like with the YouTube stuff and what I went through, it really taught me to how to, like you said, speak in front of a camera and act.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I really know how to articulate emotions and stuff with people.
Okay.
And I do such a great job at it. Yeah.
Are we ever gonna see you in front of the camera?
I don't think so. No.
No. Never. No auditioning. Never. Not gonna star your
If
own
I made an
film?
OnlyFans, but that's about it.
Oh man. Man. Well, if you make an OnlyFans, then we know the independent films didn't work.
Exactly.
All right. So then just directing, just that. Okay, I could see that.
Yeah.
I could understand that. Tell me then, as a director
Mm-hmm.
and a producer, if you had to put together your own film and you had the call, any budget, any location, any storyline or theme.
You can't ask me about a storyline on the spot.
No, okay,
I don't have a storyline.
not a
in my
storyline,
pocket.
but I mean like any theme, like any genre.
Yeah.
Like which genre?
Slasher horror
Slasher horror.
for like
location
50 mil.
for 50 mil budget.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy that's a humongous budget for a horror
It'd be
film.
gnarly. It'd be crazy.
What are you gonna spend 50 mil on
I
a
have
horror
you in
film?
it. You do the main actor.
You just send me through portals and you send me in space for 50 mil in a horror film is a lot. That's a Marvel level budget.
How much is like the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre on
Like,
Netflix?
I think it's 15 mil, if
No.
that. Yes, let me see.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre Netflix.
Netflix? All right, let's see. We're going to look it up right now. Hold on. $140,000.
No, that's not the right film.
No, I think that's for the original one. The 2022 one.
That's the catering.
Not the kid. Yeah, 20 mil.
More. I knew that wasn't 50.
Not
But-
50, it's more than 15 mil. $20 million is a lot though for a horror
Yeah.
film. That's
And
a
it was
huge.
Yeah.
What about actors?
But 50 mil is like a huge apocalyptic
Yeah.
zombie takes over the world.
Yes, a spaceship comes
Like,
in.
have you ever seen World War Z? The zombie one with Brad Pitt.
No, I haven't. I mean, they had Brad Pitt in there, then they had a huge budget.
Yeah. That was a gnarly
Was it a gnarly one? I don't think I've seen World War Z. What's your favorite horror movie of all
I
time?
really like the new like abstract stuff like Midsummer and what's it called? Hereditary.
Have you ever, well, being as young as you are, have you ever actually watched like the first like Jason Voorhees Friday the 13th?
Mm-mm.
You never seen that?
Mm-mm.
Oh man. Oh.
I should. I don't know where to watch it.
They have it on Amazon and Netflix now. They have it everywhere. You never seen like the first Freddy Krueger? Oh. You want to talk about a budget? Yeah, it's a legendary movie. I can't believe you never seen. All right, so you can't. I think this is on wherever this is at. If people can comment, they also got to comment because I'm not the biggest old school movie guy.
Yeah.
They need to comment movies that you need to watch before your time. You were what, born 2001?
Yeah.
So even these movies were made even before I was born and were famous before I was born. So I don't know these, but there's a lot of people who are your audience that are horror film like bus, like they watch all the ones in the 80s. And then we got some gifts for you before you actually leave. I noticed in your house you have this extremely giant silver, is it ping pong table?
Mm-hmm.
So I got you this silver Mickey Mouse.
Wow.
With these blue pants over from my guys over at Metacom.
Thank
3D
you.
Retro. It's a DesignerCon exclusive. So we're gonna send you home with that guy.
Thank you. Yeah, we give these to everybody on the show.
No, everybody gets their own gifts that, you know, specific for them. This is for you. Let's not. No. And now everybody's getting Bear Brick. These aren't cheap gifts. Yeah, and of course.
A shower with that?
I mean, you can technically. Yeah, if you want to. I guess it's coconut. So
that scrubber would hurt.
So we are going to give you the quick kit, necessities kit. It's a silver kit. It's coconut oil based, 100% organic sneaker cleaner.
So you can drink
it's actually a cleaner.
Is it like that?
Don't drink it. Well, I've tried. It's not the best thing to do. It's our high fashion cleaner. You can clean your heels, your bags. You can clean the Bear Brick with it. You can clean your shoes.
Scratch it for sure.
Don't use the brush if you're gonna clean the Bear Brick. You use like the microfiber towel. The kit comes with everything in it. You can also find Bear Bricks. If you guys do like Bear Bricks, you can shop at, and buy your Bear Bricks at Equivalents in Encino. We do have an abundance. And we do carry them at Boba and Tings too, also in Reseda. Thank you again for El Cristiano Tequila. Till next time, this is Mic'd Up with Michelangelo. This is the multi-talented, super successful, good-looking 6'4"
Thank you.
Blake Linder. I don't think he's single, but ladies, he's around.
Peace.
Peace out.